Hey, what's up everybody? This is Damien. Welcome back. I just got in a shipment of cornbread corals. Thought I'd share it with you guys, kind of give you my thoughts and overall impressions. Unboxing it, the came in the standard styrofoam package, instructions, all the normal goodies that I'd come to expect. I've ordered online from other companies like Worldwide Corals and whatnot. So I'd say this is pretty much the standard in terms of getting corals online. For cornbread corals, you need to stop and kind of make sure that when everything arrives, it's looking healthy. Typically when you buy corals online, if you're not familiar with the process, there's about a 2-hour guarantee from the moment they arrive. Some companies give longer, but it's important to kind of expect things, make sure that you're not seeing any signs of like rapid tissue necrosis or anything like that. So first things first, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of pull them out of the box, kind of inspect everything with a flashlight, make sure there's no sign of the tissue degrading, especially on the SPS corals. I find those ones are usually the ones that if you're going to have a problem, it's going to be with those guys since they're so sensitive. With cornbread corals, I was actually pretty impressed. Everything showed up looking really healthy. Polyps were actually extended in the bag. That's always a good sign. You can see that bloodshot Krakatoa kind of there is actually out and has all its tentacles out and everything. It's not all shriveled up. So I was really impressed with how healthy things looked when it arrived. Colors were still vibrant and everything, even though it's in a bag. After that, we're dropping in the sump for about 45 minutes to acclimate to temperature and take care of some important business in the process. But then we move on to the dip. I dip in Bare Advanced and Coral RX. I also use Revive for certain corals as well as peroxide, but we'll get into that later on down the road. I'll do a whole dipping and acclimation video to really just show you my process. Again, overall, I was really impressed with the health of the corals. I'd say at this point I probably ordered about 50 corals or so through either online auctions or websites and whatnot. I'd definitely give these guys a 10 on health. However, that being said, no matter who I get corals from, I always dip them multiple times before I put them on my rock work and whatnot. So, again, this is just a really abbreviated version of my dipping process. A couple quick important notes. I removed the frag plugs from these corals the second day just because being on the frag plugs is part of the arrival guarantee. Another important note is when I'm dropping them in the tank, I turn off my LEDs, turn off my front T5s, and only have my back T5s on just so that way they're not getting shocked. So after rinsing my corals, went threw them on the frag rack. This is a Zen Reef frag rack. Really love their stuff. I'll do a review in the future just because I really enjoy their products. It's important to think about how tentacles are going to open up over night time, so I'm just organizing my frag rack. Got 16 corals total, 3 of which are freebies, so that was awesome. So here in a moment, I'll show what the corals look like after being in the tank for about 2 hours. It's a good indication of health. But not an indication of what they're going to look like in the end. I'll do an update here in about 2 weeks to kind of show as they're adjusting and kind of give progress updates down the road on my corals. Now, when you order corals online, it's important to have reasonable expectations. Of course, the photos on the websites are always going to look, a little juiced up on the blue spectrum, but it's really just to show you what the possibilities are. So I don't fault them for having like these really cool photos of the corals, and then you get them and they kind of look a little different. With time and experience of buying corals online, I've kind of developed the attitude that's like, they're going to show you what the possibilities are, and it's kind of up to you as the coral grower or hobbyist to try to do everything you can to achieve those colors, whether it's nutrition, lighting, whatnot. It's kind of an art form to be able to really pull the colors out of a coral, and I'd say that's what really gets especially SPS guys kind of moving on to the next levels. It's like, okay, I got a cool tank, but how do I go about achieving those colors? Because you got to be realistic that the guys that are selling these really cool colored corals, they're not amateurs at this. They're usually pretty experienced and they know what they're doing. So that's my little rant on that piece. Now I could sit here and I could break down every little piece of the transaction process with Cornbread and give you number ratings. Realistically, any sort of transaction, the question always comes down to, would you buy it again? And I'd say, honestly, without a doubt, I'd buy from them again in a heartbeat. The health of these corals far surpasses the most of the corals that I've bought online in the past. No problems with customer service whatsoever. Packaging looks good and reasonable when it showed up. Heat packs are still warm. Plus, I got some amazing freebies, so thank you to Cornbread for including those as well. Overall, a great buying experience. I really recommend them. So as always, thank you guys for joining me. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below or hit me up on Instagram at whatthefrag. Thank you very much. Take care and be well.